Hello, welcome to Geekyhijynx, home and mischief makers, and today we're looking at the boy behind the door. So I'm back in the saddle once more for another Shudder original. Now, like I said before in my previous review for Kandisha, I'm a little bit behind, but I'm going to catch up to all my Shudder exclusives and originals because I enjoy them. Even though they brought me so much pain in the past, they're kind of coming through a little bit. Which is fun. Kandisha was pretty good. So, can they continue the trend with the boy behind the door? Well, before we get into it, what is it all about? The film is about Bobby and his best friend Kevin, who on the way back from school are kidnapped and taken to a strange house in the middle of nowhere. Bobby manages to escape, but as he starts to make a break for it, he hears Kevin screams for help and realizes that he can't leave his best friend behind. Now let's just get started with what I liked about this film, and that was the two main leads of Kevin and Bobby. Now, if everyone in the world, you, me, had a friendship like these two, the world would be a happier place, because these two have each other's back and then some. Because as soon as Bobby breaks out from the trunk he's locked in, he's got a decision to make. Do I make a break for it, try and find the police, get back to his house in time to get Kevin, who may not even be there or worse could be dead? Or do I go back to his house, try and sneak in, find a way to get Kevin out while not being killed in the process? So all these things play in his mind, and he goes back to save his boy. And that's where the tension ramps up. Now what ramps up the suspension and tension even more is the villains. Now not so much the first kidnapper, but definitely the second. This one, revealed halfway through, is in that case. They don't care if these kids survive, they just don't want to get caught. They don't want these kids getting off this plot of land, running to police so they can come back and arrest them. So to avoid that, they want these kids dead. So poor Bobby... But Kevin's locked down in the basement. He's nothing he can do. But Bobby is the one that's got most of the weight on his shoulders. And this second person, this second kidnapper, he just wants Bobby dead. They just want to murder them in any way possible. They'll take this pen. They'll take a carton of milk, which is randomly there for some reason. They'll take an axe, all sorts to make sure Bobby is dead. Now, there was a lot of little nods to other horror films. I say other horror films, mainly one. And that one is The Shining. There are two scenes where I was like, not to The Shining. And there was another scene at the end, not to The Shining. Which was pretty cool. So obviously they're big Shining fans. And this second villain, give them 5 minutes to warm up. Because when you first meet them, they're so hammy. I was just thinking, oh my god. This film, the acting was pretty good up until this point. Until you come along. Give them 5 minutes. And let their psychoticness come out, and then you appreciate them a lot more because they really ramp the tension up. Now straight into my issues. The first one is something I hate in horror films, and that's when nails break. Oh my god, this is one of the worst ones I've seen. Any scene where there's a close-up of someone's nails breaking makes me just, I can't watch the screen. I literally look away until it's like 1 minute's passed. I will look, and if I see it again, oh look, I can't stand nail breaking scenes. This one has one of the worst I've seen. So if you don't like nails being snapped all the way off to their root, just be prepared with it because it is coming up. And the suspension of disbelief. There is one scene where Bobby has to mop up something very quick so he avoids being caught. If anyone's been well, of course everyone's been a kid, but remember when you're little and you spill something when you're young, and your mum is literally coming down the stairs and you've spilled like a cup of tea or a drink that stains the carpet, and your mum just had the carpet cleaned like 2 days before, and you feel that tension. Now you're dead, and that's your mum coming down the stairs and you've got to try and clear it all up. It's never happening. So when Bobby's trying to clear up all this mess in that same kind of scenario, you're sort of thinking, yeah, there's no way you're doing it in that amount of time. But again, a little nitpick, but there are some scenes in this film that you have to sort of suspend your disbelief because, yeah, there's only so much kids can get away with in this film, like being their age and such. So yes, when you watch this film and you see this particular scene, you will know what I'm talking about. And actually what stops this film being really good is something my girlfriend pointed out when we were watching it. She was like, so what's the story? And there is no story. It's just more of a circumstance these kids find them in and trying to survive. And that isn't the problem I had, but the problem I did have personally was these kids clearly care about each other. They want to make it out alive. They don't want to see each other die. They're best buds to the end. They're bros for life. But I wanted more of that in the beginning because they chill out, they're talking about their dreams and the future for like 2 seconds, and then they get kidnapped, and then they're in a situation, and then they're trying to help each other, and you're with them, don't get me wrong, once they're in this crap together, you are with them. But I would like a bit more of them at school, you know, like in the playground, maybe they're the outcasts, that's why they're so close with each other, they're in school, maybe a bit of their like banter back and forth, make you care about them a bit more, and then as they're walking back from school, then they're kidnapped, and you're like, oh crap, kind of like, what's that film, Split, you know, at the beginning, they had a 2-3 minute scene in the beginning where they're at a party, and they're walking back to the car, and the dad gets knocked out, and the girls get kidnapped. Just something like that, 2 minutes, 3 minute scene, just to lay it all up. But they don't too much, so you can't fully invest too much in the characters, but you're invested more because they're kids. So maybe a bit more character development would have been better. But for what I got, I was happy. Overall, guys, this was a pretty good Shudder film. Had it just fleshed out the characters more, built on that more, it'd have been a really solid horror thriller film. Or thriller horror film, however you want to put it. But would I recommend you go and see it? Definitely put aside some time to watch this, because I don't think you'll be disappointed. And I think with my issues and my positives, I think you'll be like, yeah, I can see where Joe's coming from. This is good, but it was so close to being great. And on that note, I'm going to give The Boy Behind the Door 3 out of 5 Geeky coins, but it's also a one-time spin. So guys, that was my review of The Boy Behind the Door. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Was it a snooze fest? Or the greatest film we've ever seen? Come back to the comments to let me know, because I genuinely am interested. And if you like this video, drop one of those likes, because it always does help. But until next time, stay out of trouble.